Hello there and welcome everybody. Super happy to be here today on a Thursday for I think the first time in the virtual space here at LinkedIn Live. And as you can imagine, those of you who have read the announcement, we are super excited today because tomorrow is the big day. On one hand, for Virtual Space Hero Productions, because we are going to produce an event with 600 participants from across the globe. And on the other hand, also for the Global Case Study Challenge team. So without further waiting, I don't want to make you wait. I bring on the whole team on the stage immediately because today we're going to talk about how we were trying and giving our best to design an extraordinary and memorable learning journey for our students. And tomorrow is the big event where they are going to present their case studies. With that, the team comes on the stage, and we have here Asna Knapic connecting from Austria. Hi there.
Hi, hello, lovely to see you. Hi.
Hi there. And we are coming Anna Dinenko connecting from Spain.
Hello, welcome to our live stream.
Hello there. Hi, Anna. And Sveta Buko connecting. I'm not sure, Sveta, from Italy or from Slovenia. That was difficult.
From the border of Italy and Slovenia. Dober dan.
Buona giornata. It's really amazing that we are again here together because we have been working really hard the past, well, not only 2 months, but really the past like 6 months, I would say, on our Global Case Study Challenge. Even though we know that, well, for all of us, it developed into a part-time job, like a volunteer part-time job. We love it, and we were giving like 180% to create an extraordinary experience. Edna, we started the Global Case Study Challenge 3 years ago, still together with Marcelo, who joined us, who had also the idea to connect us. And the challenge, anyways, it developed tremendously. So what is sort of your learning experience and your take on so far about the Global Case Study Challenge?
Thanks, Barbara. Well, first of all, I mean, it's absolutely amazing that we've grown so much. I'm super excited about that. I think it's fantastic. It's really lovely to see that with the growth come also new challenges and learning experiences. So as you said, we're working all the time. We're working nonstop. We're developing, new ideas. We're developing new competences in us and in our participants, which is fantastic. So, I mean, there are so many learning experiences that come along with the event that it's just brilliant. One of the things that I'm enjoying most is actually the fact that we are also now working in a virtual team all the time. So everything that we're doing, we're actually sort of putting into practice. We're thinking about our own communication or tools, how we are also sort of evolving as digital leaders. So I think that's brilliant. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if you think back, what is sort of your favorite new assignment or new step that we took in the Global Case Study Challenge? If we think about last year, the development from last year to this year.
I mean, there's loads of new things that we've added. So I don't know if I could even, what's my favorite? I mean, I love the fact that we're using a lot more tools. So everybody's getting a lot of experience with different types of communication tools. I know you'll talk about Miro later, all of the other tools that we're using, Padlet. I think we have a new learning platform that maybe Anna will talk a little bit about later on. All of these elements bring in so much interaction, which is fantastic. From the didactical perspective, I think one of the things that we've done that's worked really, really well this time is incorporating the team building challenge for our teams and also getting them to reflect on it. Absolutely fantastic. We're forcing them to engage with each other to develop these. There's no way that they can just complete the tasks by writing to each other on WhatsApp or just using a Google document. So I think this is one of the things that I absolutely love, and we could really see the reflection in those video reflections. So we added the digital component there, how people were developing, these, and recognizing, how difficult it is sometimes in a virtual environment to create a team when you're thrown together without knowing people.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love also the part, and just for those of you out there who are not pretty familiar with the steps that we're taking or we're talking about, one of the assignments that our 600 students and 100 students group, we're working with 100 students group, what they have to do is they have to do a virtual team building and then reflect on the virtual team building. And I think this is something they get from us, the input, of course, in one of the live sessions, but it's really an extraordinary assignment, I think, that was also challenging because not all of us are sort of super familiar with what reflecting means on an activity. And also it's something that we not always teach at universities. Therefore, I also love that. Anna, let me ask you, because you joined from a very different perspective this year. Last year, you were one of our professors, and this year you joined the team, the management team. So how is it going for you?
Actually, I am enjoying so much, and I see in the comments we are getting as well that our team is really international, and it's super great how we are capable of working together and energy we have. We are meeting weekends, we are meeting late nights to provide this amazing opportunity for students, because everything is about giving opportunity for this quality education of learning new ways. And this year as was very challenging as well for Europe and for rest of the world. Not all of the students had an opportunity to do exchange program or study abroad. So this is amazing that they can be working in these international virtual teams, solving very challenging, very interesting cases as well. But last year, I remember I joined with my students, was supervising them, debriefing them, and then everything culminated in the global virtual conference. And as I remember, last year you just had, Ethne and Barbara, 300 students, and I was already so impressed by how great it was and smoothly handled. But I never saw what is really behind the scene, what left behind the frame of preparation for that conference. And this year, I think definitely conference is amazing culmination part where students are presenting. But as Esna was commenting, they did so much before. They really were able to engage, to build the team and establish trust. So it was not just about presentation, and I'm super excited about presentations they're going to show tomorrow, but also about the journey and path. As a part of it, we provided them the tools and the knowledge on how to be ready, how to get ready for a very effective online presentation. So definitely this year I'm living a very different experience and challenges, and I'm learning. This is the most important, that we as a team are learning, and individually we're also learning a lot from this.
Absolutely. I also have the feeling that after each, our weekly or our we have it even bi-weekly, sometimes our meetings, right? That we are developing our own competences in such a fast, speedy way that is amazing, right? That's absolutely what I also have the feeling. And then we have also this year in this learning journey, not only that we are developing ourselves through the through conceptualizing and designing the whole learning journey, but we also have an educator certification track on top. So it's a very it's a very integral approach, to say so, on how we develop students' competences, but also educators' competences. And if we look here, I'm really very happy that we have so many of our educators also here that are fulfilling with us the 2-month or 3-month journey with 4 modules. So we see here Almendra Stafahili is here. Thank you so much for joining our program. One of our global educators who will be certified in December after presenting their capstone project. We also have here Reka Roska, who is also participating in our Educator Challenge. And behind the Educator Challenge, there is well, the four of us, but one person who is really driving it like crazy, right? She is in the seat, isn't she?
Yeah.
In the driver's seat.
Team, it's such a great honor for me to be a part of this amazing team. And also a part of this amazing project in general on so many levels. As it was already described, I'm a newest team member. I joined only this year, and it's really fascinating to observe how the project is developing and how we are bringing so many additional layers to this third edition. Really, the project has scaled to 600 students from all over the globe. This is an important component. Then we have about around 30 different educators from different universities from around the globe. And then we have our educators in the educators program, who come with the background of professional education, learning programs in linguistics, business consulting and coaching. So as a result, in this program, we have a mix of interdisciplinary people who are leading those 3 months online at the global level with us together. What's important is that this year we looked at the instructional design and measurement, and we looked at the competency development, and we conceptualized it all together as a group of the management team, and we're able to reflect and build and elevate it to a next level, basically working with the students, with the professors, and with educators, and all four of us as management teams. So there are at least 4 levels that we're covering. And exactly.
And I think it's also exactly as we see here, Sveta, team learning and individual learning. Those are sort of the elements, and social learning overall, what we're trying to combine in both the students, but also the educators track.
Absolutely. And when we say that this is a transformational journey, when we say that this is an experiential learning, we really mean it, really, because according to the instructional design philosophy that we applied, we really make sure that we're learning by experience, and then we're giving time for reflection, and all of this in the virtual environment. So it is about people, that's for sure, because this is the foundation. It is about cultures, because it is international global experience, and it's about the technology. You know, these are the 3 elements that we are moving forward.
Absolutely. Let me pick up here on one question, because it connects very much to what we were discussing briefly about our virtual team building assignment. And it's from Natalia. Thank you so much, Natalia, for providing us with your question as well. Could you please share what is essential for virtual team building to work for a large group of students? And I'm not sure, Edna, would you like to pick up on that?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think there are many things that are incredibly important when it comes to managing such a large group and making sure that all of the students, or as many of them as possible, are really engaged with what we're doing. So I know, well, first of all, we try to make all of our sessions or live sessions, all of our materials absolutely accessible to people, whether or not they can come to the live sessions or whether they just want access to the videos of the live sessions afterwards. So first of all, that's really important, because we're dealing with a whole interdisciplinary bunch of participants who are employed, who are full-time students, part-time students, and are also in different time zones. So that's incredibly important, I think, that we really think about, you know, including everybody. So we try to have this idea of sort of an inclusive learning environment also running throughout all of our sessions, all of our interactions, all of our materials. In addition to that, I mean, during the live sessions, we're very careful about trying to vary the tools that we're using so we get maximum engagement. So we're doing polling with the students. We're getting them to engage with the chat function. We're also putting not only the students and participants, but also our educators and our professors into chat rooms, breakout rooms to engage with each other. We take the conversation offline. So we have via our learning management platform, Canvas, we have discussion forums. We have also the possibility to link in their ideas around, you know, using Padlets. We have the students engage with each other, posting pictures. We have all sorts of interactions that combine the development of the social interaction and also the learning interaction. Yeah.
I think what you were mentioning about the pictures, that was, for example, one step that we took after like a month, I think, when it was already like we saw that energy was energy. Of course, it's sometimes always like a little bit in a curve, right? And energy at some point, we felt like students were getting a little bit more anxious, a little bit stressed because, you know, in October, November, there's a lot to do at universities. So we're trying to give them a space, for example, where they were able to post team pictures. And we, in this case, we were using not yet Miro, but we were using Milanote also to experiment with different platforms where students were able to upload group pictures, and then they can like each other, get to know also the other groups. Because of course, managing a project with 100 student groups, 600 people, participants, that's just tremendous. It's not possible that they all connect together. And I think one other connection that we were always trying to give them is through LinkedIn comments, right? It was a little bit our idea that the moment that we were online in a live session, we were having a LinkedIn post and also using this LinkedIn post for students to comment on it. And so they get to know each other, they connect also with people outside of their groups.
And maybe, Barbara, as well, just one of the other ideas that we did, which was sort of more playful, but also I think is very important in terms of having the interaction among the students. We set up a playlist. So we have our global case study challenge playlist. So we had participants from all over the globe sharing their favorite music. We use it in our breaks. We're engaging with it. It's a lot of fun. We're recommending the students and the professors and educators to also enjoy each other.
Absolutely. If you want to listen to it, just go to Spotify GCSE 2020 and you definitely find it. It's a tremendous international playlist of students who are in our program. But of course, we also know that, as we were saying, at some point, sometimes energy drops because there's a lot of workload. We also have part-time students in our program, which also they are working. Some of them have children and family and full-time jobs. So of course, combining all this plus a challenge like ours might be at some point you need like a motivation, a drop of motivation. Anna, what would you say if we think about what Almendra is saying here, or Sveta, I'm not sure. How do you oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. That's the one I want to pick up. Which are your top tips for maintaining motivation during a virtual program? Because we know that at some point it can drop. So I'm not sure, Anna, what is your idea on that? How did we do that?
Definitely. First of all, as you know, we had many activities for them and they were also combined through time. So every time they were engaged, we also, as Esna mentioned, had the live sessions. And I think live sessions was a great opportunity as well to raise motivation, to reconnect with us. And they had the breakout rooms as well, where they were getting to know not just the team members that they already knew, but also other participants. No? So it is a great opportunity to motivate. But also to add to it, we constantly been on top with them, trying to reconnect. If there is any problem, really, we were paying individual attention. And still, despite the fact that we have 600 students and 100 groups, we were giving them individual attention, saying, okay, it's 4 of us, we can handle it. And we were really replying as well to the individual messages and giving them strategies. Another great tip for motivation, don't forget that we are not just 4. We are actually around 30 professors that are also helping, and they're doing the best with their own students. So they are a source of motivation and constant engagement with the students, because they were seeing them, students every week, or maybe twice a week. So definitely myself as a professor with my students, this edition, I have around 50 students participating in Global Case Study Challenge. I was constantly reconnecting and asking them how it's going, what are their thoughts. I was asking them to share their experience, positive experience as well, to to motivate other students. If they are having problems, it's a great that they can see others are doing really well and they can give as well tips. So actually this is this self-directed learning where they're also sharing what they have learned and what are the tips to get engaged as well with their teammates and proceed and have excellent results for their assignments as well.
That's fantastic examples. But of course, also still there can be, and that's also what Amandra is asking here, there can be resistance from participants. What were your, Sveta, as well? Because we handled resistance as well, not only with our own students, but also in the bigger groups.
Right. Well, it's about change management, right? So bringing in the theories here. If there is change, the first step is, of course, managing the resistance. So we all know that, the change management cycle. So it's a normal reaction. This is something that I guess we as managers and we as professors have to observe and have to be able to deal with this, really. As Anna mentioned, it's not only 4 of us, it's the group of professors, and we also have the groups of educators. We talk about this. We check and we see who is experiencing the resistance. We tap into why resistance is being experienced. Is this personal reason, or is this technological reason, or this is the context? Because we all live in a global world, which is not an easy world right now. So we try to reconnect, share the experience, and be authentic as authentic leaders and authentic followers also. Talk about the challenges, talk them through, and work as a team to help each other out, either on the student level or on the professor level or on the educators level or on our management level. So all is there.
And I think that's such an important point, because thinking about it, where is the resistance coming from? Whether it might be as well like a technological resistance, because we are using tools that people might not be familiar with. And for example, there was, we have been discussing that extensively, because this year we were so proud, right, that we moved to a totally new learning management system. So Anna, a tremendous designer, not only social media, all the social media work, webpage goes on her shoulders, but also the whole learning management system. And maybe Anna, would you like to point out a little bit how we are managing 600 students in one learning management system, and also what kind of resistance we were getting, and how we were trying to design it so that everybody finds easily the way around?
Definitely. So just to give a perspective, last year, Barbara Este, as a designer of Global Case Study Challenge, used a Moodle learning management system. I think those that work in education are very familiar with Moodle. In each university, it can be designed and implemented in a different level, but we were not getting, I remember as a professor myself, we were not getting a lot of interactions really with students. There was not so much of, discussion or even sending messages so much, or submissions. We just had one submission there. This year, we decided to go with Canvas learning management system from company Infrastructure. And thanks to study abroad to ABEO Foundation, Universitat Autónoma de Barcelona, we were able to get a professional account of Canvas, because as you know, there is as well account free for teachers that everyone in education can use, and it's amazing and great as well. So to try it out, but we get our professional institutional account where we were able to design as well with all the logos, and we were able to implement the designs there. But what is really important, we were able to really make it as user-friendly as possible. We were testing it before ourselves, before introducing students there and introducing professors, and we designed it in a different level. So each participant has different as well functions to be capable of doing there. And I think our discussion forum is quite engaged, right, Barbara? We have quite a lot of responses and so on. But what is really amazing as well for education, the way we were able to design assignments and as well rubrics that are incorporated there, that it's make it much more easier for our global case study professors to be able to evaluate as well teams, students, and you can imagine it was a challenge, and we survived. We passed this challenge to conduct quiz for 600 students in Canvas. And I think at this point, everything is going really smoothly. But talking about resistance, we definitely got a lot of resistance from students because some of them or most of them never used this learning management system. And despite the fact it was really different and designed, I would say, in a way that's
much more
very
visual.
intuitive. You can find everything in two places by, like a website design where you need to do less than 3 clicks to find information. We try to incorporate all of it, but still, if you used to use one specific tool throughout your years of university degree, but that could be 3-5 years studying in university, and it's Moodle or it's any other one, could be Blackboard and so on, students were resisting, saying, it's different and I used to Moodle. Right. So not every time that is something that is nicer, maybe nicer looking, it's accepted right away. But I have a feeling as well, I don't know if Tim, you agree, that by now already they're feeling much more comfortable in Canvas as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm totally sure about that. But it's still interesting to see how we all can be resistant to something that we don't know in the first moment, and that we need to find our way around again. And I think it's so important, even though not all of them were super happy, because clearly European Moodle users, they use Moodle all the time. And it's fun because the feedback I got is like, okay, Moodle isn't that nice, but it's cleaner. Moodle isn't that comfortable, but I know it. So, and it's fun because I think also if we put it now on another meta level, it's like, it's also good that they have to find their way through another learning management system, because that also enhances their digital agility at the end, and ours as well. So from everyone. I think that's really important. I want to pick up on one question that Natalia is posting here. Natalia, thanks so much for your question. And to everyone out there, thanks so much for your comments in the chat window. We are following them closely, and we're going to pick them up immediately now. So Natalia is asking, first of all, thank you for your helpful tips. I think that was you, Athna, about the tools that we were using. Did you try to design teams as diverse as possible, or due to virtual interaction, you try to put more similar team members together? Natalia, thanks so much for the question, because I think every year we're discussing that again, because we are totally aware that the more diverse, just speaking about time zones the teams are, the more complex and challenging it gets. But our aim is to really organize the teams in a way that is as diverse as possible. Clearly, I try to, I always use a simple Excel file where I'm grouping them up together in groups of maximum 6 people, 6 participants. And I try to use Excel cells in such a way that I have the maximum diversity. Still, some of the groups are only European-based groups. Some of the groups have also the Indian, the Chilean, and other students from outside Europe, but not all of them. But it's really fun, Edna, right? Because also last year, the main challenge that we often hear is namely the time challenge, the time zone challenge. But we decided to, again, not try to avoid it, but rather challenge it. And as Sveta, you're always saying, this is not a holiday or this is not a journey, it is a global case study challenge, right?
Yes, this is excellent. I just want to comment on the fact that this year we are also measuring and looking into the development of the competencies. This is a competency-based approach, and linking it to the question of Natalia, there are 2 important groups of competencies that this project is developing. First one is the digital competencies, and the second was the intercultural competences. And it is, since it is experience-based learning, not instruction-based learning philosophy, this is exactly why the groups are mixed, so that they learn from experience of working with people with different cultures, different time zones, different expectations, to solve the case, to produce the result as a regular, normal team, like we do in business, and they develop the competencies. And this year we also assess and we also measure the competencies and evaluate at the start and at the end. So we'll have empirical data to prove the results of this amazing global case study challenge this year.
Yeah, I'm really very much looking forward to our analysis that we're going to start probably in February when we had some time to get rest, right? What do you think, Ethna? Or before that?
But no, yeah, okay, we might already start in mid-January, because otherwise I think we have such intense contact at the minute. I don't know how we'll continue life if we're not seeing each other every couple of days.
We are already observing and doing the interim analysis of the qualitative data on the platform and during the live sessions too. So everything is under control. This instructional design is rooted into the methodology of online learning at COIL.
And it's fantastic. Look, we have another question. So, did you find that less diverse virtual teams perform better than more diverse ones? So, we did not evaluate our teams on that, but from my research experience, and I was doing a lot of research in diversity, in the diversity area as well as Sveta and Anna and Ethna as well, we do know that usually in the short run, the more diverse a team is, the less high it is in performance, just because the whole communication, finding communication, the conflict management takes longer. But in the long run, we know from research that by trend, the more diverse a team, the more creative there are the solutions. But I'm not sure if in our global case study challenge, have you experienced something else than that, or have you noted another pattern?
No, I would just reiterate exactly what you're saying, Barbara. I mean, some of the comments that we do get, I know, or that I've had for the last couple of times have been about, there's another Austrian student in my group and we're on the same page and it's so easy to work. So you can see that is exactly the trap that we would fall into if we had this sort of similarity, less diversity in the groups. So I totally agree with what you're saying. We know short term it takes a little bit more time, a little bit more energy, more resources, but in the long term the outcome is much superior.
But can I add to it as well? Remember that our diversity is not just cultural, but also interdisciplinary. So even if we have two students from Austria, two students from Spain in one group, they're coming from a very different academic backgrounds. It could be master level versus bachelor level, or it could be tourism versus engineering. That is also amazing for the diversity in a team.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's really, that there are really very valuable experiences that come out of all the differences that students bring with them. And I still think, I'm not sure if you remember, after the first year, I think our challenge was only 6 weeks. Is it possible?
Yes, it was shorter. I think it was
slightly shorter. And we were always sort of a little bit struggling with the length, because coordinating 22 university partners with different academic backgrounds, the semester starts differently, ends differently. It's always a little bit complex to go much longer than 6, 7, 8 weeks. But we also would make sure that we don't run the Global Case Study Challenge only for 4 weeks, because that's a very short period of time. So the idea is really that we have it as we designed it for at least 8 weeks. I would even go for 3 months if there would be a possibility.
So would I.
But we are constrained by the international dimension of the project. That's a little bit the challenge here. But at least the 2 months, I believe it's totally necessary.
Absolutely.
I would like to comment also, rooted into what Natalia asked about the performance. I guess a very important part is also the instructional design and the timeline of the project, that this year the interim results are integrated, where they need to reflect on their experience. And tomorrow, for example, they need to present. So this is an experience of presenting as a group at the virtual conference of 600 students from all over the globe. So that virtual performance is important and experiential too. So we're very happy about tomorrow.
Absolutely. And tomorrow, so we have done a lot of preparation in terms of the learning journey, how we prepared it for our participants. And tomorrow, our virtual Miro Spaceship is departing. So you can imagine we are tremendously excited, because also I have a virtual production company, but still 600 participants tomorrow is going to be our biggest event for this year. And with that, I'd really love to invite you to explore with me very briefly our virtual spaceship. And if you're interested, just comment in the comment section as well that you want to join, because this year we decided as well to open up registration for external parties. We have a tremendous keynote speaker from Novartis. We have a surprise keynote speaker after the break, and we're going to have several other surprises prepared for you. So if you're interested, just put into the chat window, yes, I definitely want to be there, or something similar, and we're going to contact you afterwards and reply to your comments. With that, I'd really love to show you now our Miro Spaceship. So this is something that is based on a design from Hued, a tremendous design company, and we adapted it to our needs. So you see, when tomorrow our participants are coming to the conference, they can simultaneously log into our spaceship, our GCSC spaceship. Virtual Space Series, the production partner, they know immediately where to start. We have a technical support set up, so there is an SOS number embedded. We have background information about the production company, Virtual Space Hero, about our 20 producers, because you must imagine we have 20 sub-tracks happening from 3:30 to 6:30 more or less, or 2:30 to 6 more or less. And in these 20 subtracks, each professor is moderating the students group, 5 students presentations, and each professor is supported by a production hero. So also here we have created a space where our production heroes can sort of share their CV. So if you click on that tomorrow, you can also find out who is working there behind the scenes with us. A big thank you to Joshua and Isman, who helped me in brainstorming and creating this Miro board. If you continue, and that's how we tried also to make it a visually attractive and interesting experience for our participants. They come here, we embedded our playlist. So if they go here, for example, they could listen to our GCSE 2020 playlist because we have it here embedded. We prepared for them a welcome message when they come on board, where we explain a little bit the board, and then they also see immediately the big spaceship. So here our mission control center with the smaller sub-tracks and the corresponding links that they will need to enter their rooms. So it's really a visual, we hope that it's going to be a visually nice experience, and that the students are going to, our participants are going to enjoy it. Besides that, we have an information section here where the overview of the conference program can be found. Again, the links to the main rooms and the subjects. We have a challenge, and we're going to talk about that immediately, that is still going on. We have a Q&A session here, like an Ask Us Anything session embedded. We're going to have a conference party afterwards with all the special surprise, and we have created a space here. And also, we can go on the Miro wall and have a look at all our 22 university partners. So amazing to have them all with us tomorrow. And with that, I'm not sure, team, we should definitely mention the picture challenge, shouldn't we? Because that's also a way of creating connection for us.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, I think that's really one of the other ways that we're trying to engage also the students in the run-up to the Global Case Study Challenge. So we love to have as much interaction as possible and to combine the learning with the social. So this is a great challenge where the students have been asked to upload a picture that they design themselves, a photo that incorporates the 4 elements of the Global Case Study Challenge. So the global element, the case element, the study element and the challenge. And as you can see, Barbara and Anna have already been busy. So they've already submitted the first couple of pictures. Wonderful.
Exactly. I just would, out of privacy, I'm not showing the other pictures here, but we also provided the students with an example. Anna, and we know her cat Mango is an Instagram
Celebrity.
hero, right? Celebrity, yeah. But she was also attending our Global Case Study Challenge calls a lot.
Yes.
But it's very important as well to provide example for the students. So when we are asking them to do some of the activities, for some of the activities, we definitely think about that example could be too much because we want them to be creative and go outside of their framework, be bold, be creative. It's the thing we are repeating to them. So giving them a freedom to decide. But also for this challenge, we decided to provide them an example so they can know. And I just saw that we got since yesterday some more pictures, so it's amazing. Since
Absolutely.
by tomorrow we will get more. So there is also prizes, so it's a gamification.
Exactly.
Prizes related to it.
And we also have here, for example, already prepared a conference party picture gallery. So tomorrow we hope, well, there's already somebody having a party here, which is fantastic. We also have here again a picture as an example what we are looking for, and students can then post all our participants can post tomorrow the pictures. We also have prepared a feedback wall. So clearly the harvesting, also getting feedback from our participants is important to us, and that's what we encourage to do here at this part of the Miro wall, of the Miro board. So I hope this gave you an overview, and we see here we have a few Mironeers, guest Miro heroes floating around our Miro wall, our GCSE spaceship, and you are super invited to join us. If you are interested, create a comment, leave us a comment. We are providing you with the registration link, and you join and see how we're going to manage tomorrow the 600 participants from across the globe, right?
Wow. Yeah. Barbara, just before we've been talking about the or challenge or picture challenge, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to the IACCM and also CETAR Austria, because the prizes that we have available for the students, also to encourage them, of course. They've been working incredibly hard, and it's wonderful to be able to give them sort of a little something back. So I just wanted to say thank you very much to our partners as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And with that, team, we're almost at the end of our today's Virtual Space Hero LinkedIn live stream. I am tremendously grateful that I have the opportunity to work with all of you together. And even though we all know it's really very challenging also for us talking about time commitments that we have and how the project grew this year, but it's so rewarding. That's the feeling that I really have here. And for that also, thank you very much for being so responsive as we are all together.
Thank you, Barbara.
It's a great pleasure.
Thank you for inviting.
Yeah. Thank you, team. Thank you.
Thank you so much also to everybody out there who left us with your comments, with your questions. Thank you so much for being with us. Adna, Anna, Sveta, I'm going to wait for you backstage, or I ask you to wait for me backstage, because I'm coming there immediately, just closing down the stage, and then I'll be there with you for a short virtual cocktail, if that's okay with you.
Perfect.
Cool. Okay. Immediately.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us and for your support. To all our producers and professors, it's really amazing. And a short outlook, what is happening next week? Next week, well, after I'm going to relax for hopefully 3-4 days after the Global Virtual Conference tomorrow. Next week, I'm going to talk about gamification. And I have with me on the LinkedIn live show, Mohsin Memon, who has developed a tremendous game that he's using in leadership trainings. And that's what we're going to talk about next year. So very much connected to the gamification elements that we have here also in the Global Case Study Challenge, but we go one step beyond and we really look through an app that he developed. And with that, I hope that we are going to see each other tomorrow during the Global Virtual Conference. Stay safe and let us know in the comments if you want to join. Thank you so much for following me. Bye.